Welcome to a few minutes together on the Parsha. We have the privilege this week of beginning the fourth of the Chamisha Chumshei Torah, Chumash Bamidbar, with Parshas Bamidbar. The very first pasuk of this week's Parsha opens up an idea that is presented by the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. The pasuk says, "Vayedaber Hashem al Moshe." Hashem spoke to Moshe Bamidbar Sinai, in the wilderness of Sinai, Be'ohel Moed, in the tent of the meeting. And then it gives a date. Be'echad lachodesh hasheni, on the first day of the second month. Bashana hashenis, in the second year. Let's say Samei Eretz Mitzrayim, when they left Egypt, from the time they left Egypt, Lamor is saying. Notice, when it talks about the place, it gives you the klal, the global, Bamidbar Sinai. And then it says the specific place, Be'ohel Moed, in the tent of the meeting. But when it talks about the time, it says Be'echad, on the first day, Lachodesh Hasheni, of the second month, in the second year. So it goes from the very specific to the less specific to the broadest of categories. Why is it that when it's talking about the place that the counting of the Jewish people took place in, it talks about the global Bamidbar, Sinai, and then it talks about the specific Ohel Moed? Well, when it comes to the mentioning of the date, the most specific is coming first, then it goes to the more general. What is the reason for that? So the Or HaChaim HaKadosh gives a very beautiful answer, and he explains that the truth of the matter is, when it comes to Midbar Sinai and Ohel Moed, the Ohel Moed is the klal, the more general place, because where God is the entire world, and the Midbar is more specific. And that would seem to therefore jive with the date being more specific and less specific. But maybe there's another way to formulate this and to make sense out of it. When it comes to the larger picture, we look at the world in a global sense, and we look at the place we live in a more specific sense. When it comes to time, however, many people are not so broad as to see the big picture of time. They only see the very specific moment, the here and the now, but they don't project the larger scheme of time images. And consequently, the Torah is teaching us something. When it comes to space, we can see the global picture. And then we know our home is in Brooklyn, New York. It's in Lakewood, New Jersey. It's in Yerushalayim, in Eretz Yisrael. Perhaps we should have said that one first. But when it comes to time, people get bogged down in the moment of the here and the now, and they tend to lose the big picture. And right before Shavuos, when we're reading Parshas Bamidbar, the Torah is telling us, don't do that. What's the big picture? What's our lives? What are our lives all about? We are here, we hopefully feel, for a very long time. But do we take a global analysis of that time and say to ourselves, what are we going to do with this large amount of time? Or are we only focused on the specific momentary here and the now, and consequently lose some sight of the big picture? And for the Klal Yisrael, it's so important not to lose sight of the big picture of time. We've got to take the here and the now and place it in the context of the global accomplishments that we want over a long period of time. When you start a business, you have a plan of where you want to go to, and then the specifics fit into that general rule. When it comes to the usage of time, we should not be any different. We should have a global picture of what do we want to accomplish in our lives over a long period of time, and then it's easy to plug in the specifics in order to get to that place. You know, the Daf Yomi was founded by Rabbi Meir Shapiro. Did he think, oh, we're going to learn a daf every day? Or did he say, how could we accomplish that all the Jewish people would be able to learn all of Shas? And then let's find the specific way in which we could do it. And maybe that's what we have to do with our time. Isn't it interesting that the 6 orders of the Mishnah are given a name, Zman, Nokat, Zroim, Moed, Noshan, Nezikin, Kochim, Taros. The first letter of each spells Zman, Nokat. Choose the time. Let's take the global picture and plug in the specifics in order to be able to reach the Bamidbar Sinai, Ba'oel Moed, and we can also get the time right, so that each and every moment, Limnos Yomenu Kenoda, teach us to count each and every one of our days. Have a wonderful Shabbos.